It's an honor for me to make the first words to you. The theme of this session is the liberty of expression. On 1993, the General Assembly of the United Nations Organization declared this day, May the 3rd, worldwide. This day is commemorated to this situation in honor to all those journalists who around the world put their lives under risk in order to pursue the truth. And I can say it is very, very congruent, the word of the night, Kichat, because all of them are pursuing an ideal and putting their lives under risk, pursuing this ideal of the liberty of expression. After this, please, I will give the word to Suriti, please. Is there Suriti?
Was there some few moments ago, maybe she left.
Okay, maybe to some other president who can take the word. Maybe Ivan?
Yes, you mean the word of the night? Because, sorry, the word of the day? Or what?
No, just to give a short message, Ivan, please.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all for being here in this morning in Mexico and the afternoon in India. It's a glad to be here with you because we are sharing experiences and knowledge between each other. And thank you for your commitment. And we are going to have a great session. Thank you.
Suriti is not there?
Maybe I'll take it over. I'm the VP Education of Chennai Wordsmiths. Thank you all for being here. It's a great effort to have 4 clubs united together across the country. So thank you very much for all those who made this possible for this confluence. And today it's a great day because I think although we are separated by a lot of reasons, I mean today we have this opportunity to talk and express ourselves. The liberty is always there for each of us to express our feelings and express our emotions. So I feel we should be proud for that we are still able to express whatever we want. And with that note, I would want to give back the control to the president, Yvonne. Yeah, Yvonne. Yeah. Screen is yours.
Okay, thanks a lot. And now just Carolina, please. Carolina from Puebla, who is going to be also our Toastmaster of the night.
Thank you, Juan. Thank you, everybody, for sharing with us this time and sharing your experience. I'm sure that every session leaves us something. I mean, it leaves us knowledge. We learn from other cultures. We learn from you. And I'm sure this is going to be a great session. So please enjoy it. I am sharing with you. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. The word of the night. Do you see it? No.
Yes, we can see.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's referred to the word of the night. I think we should ask we were asking to the presidents are to the presentators of speeches to make a presentation of 20 seconds using the word of the night, Quixotic. And this is an image related to that Quixotic task.
So sorry to barge in. The correct pronunciation is quixotic.
Quixotic. Okay.
Quixotic.
Thank you.
Carlos. Thank you, Carlos.
Quixotic.
We always are learning something.
For sure.
My pleasure.
Therefore, following the agenda, I will ask to Ivan
Okay.
to present yourself. And use the
Okay. Okay. Hi again. I am Ivan Sandoval. I am from Mexico City. I am the president of the Lawyers Club, Mexico City. And let me tell you that when I started in Toastmasters, all the time I decided to be a quixotic person because I like to pursue my dreams. I like to pursue my ideas, but in a full shy way. Thank you very much.
Arun.
Hello.
Please tell us in 20 seconds who you are and using the word of the night, please, Arun.
Should I be saying some usages on quixotic?
Yep.
Okay. So quixotic is it does mean like extremely idealistic, unrealistic, and impractical. So in most of the times, we also become quixotic and like we think that we know things, but ideally we do not really understand things. So probably it's always better to step back when we feel that we are quixotic and then understand things and then probably convey it much better. So Toastmaster is a platform that gives you an opportunity to just step back, get some information from the mentor, and then like be practical. So that's about quixotic. Thank you.
Thank you, Arun. And now, Joel Bravo, please.
Hi, good morning, Mexico. Good evening in Chennai. My name is Joel Bravo. I am from Mexico City. I joined Toastmasters 1.5 years ago, and here in Mexico I have my own business. I provide financial education, and in my speeches in Toastmasters, I used to be quite, how do you pronounce? Quinotics, because
Quixotic.
Some of the time my speeches are quixotic because I use words, I use fantasies. I am unpredictable. So good morning and good evening. Quixotic.
Okay, now, Victor. Victor Mendoza.
Hello. Good morning, everybody. My name is Victor Mendoza. I enjoy the meeting. I know we have a very tight schedule, so I just want to introduce myself so quick.
Thank you. And now, Paul Mascaran, please. Can't hear you.
Sir, can you unmute? Paul, sir, can you unmute?
Okay. Hi, good day to you all. I have been a Toastmaster for about 8.5 years. In fact, this present situation is not at all predictable. So it is a quixotic situation, I would say. So that's it. Let's hope to have a great meeting. Thank you. Nice meeting you all.
Now, Alvaro, please.
Hello, good morning and good evening from everyone. My name is Alvaro, and I expect this session to be a quixotic session.
Okay. Thank you all. And I will give the mallet of command to our Toastmaster of the night, Carolina, who will continue the session with whatever corresponds. Welcome, Carolina.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. Well, it's a pleasure for me and an honor to be conducting this session. I hope you will enjoy it a lot. Liberty of expression can make peaceful and positive changes in society. The benefits are that you are able to say what you want and express your feelings of a certain subject, such as government or public and private property or other things. So we are starting the first part of the session that are our prepared speeches. I'm going to present our first speaker, and I am asking his evaluator, Victor Mendoza, to read the objectives of this speech.
Sure. This is the speech for understanding your communication style. The purpose of this project is to the member to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of this speech is for the member to share the impact of his or her style on others. Time assigned from 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Victor. Our first speaker is Ivan Sandoval. In the manual Effective Coaching, the project title and number is Communication in Business, Level 2, Project 2. Ivan joined Toastmasters to learn new soft skills. He watched movies during his free time. So Ivan Sandoval with other information to set up the speech. Other information to set up the speech, Ivan Sandoval.
Communication must be hot, honest, open, and to thinking. Toastmaster of the morning, members, guests, and friends. Now in communication, there are 4 styles of how to say the things or the way that you communicate with others. The first one is direct. The second is analytical. The third is you have to be well, supportive. And the fourth one, it means to be initiating. In that way, I discovered for me that when I was a child, I used to be an analytical communicator because all the time I was watching people and start to thinking about their situation, about their behaviors, about everything that they do all the time. However, when I start studying high school, I remember that I discovered the initiating style when everybody start a conversation and start to doing networking and meet each other all the time and become friends and friends and friends every time. For me, it was a little bit difficult because I used to be an analytical person and I started to think a lot of things about every behavior that they do and every word that they do. However, I learned how to be an initiating person when you are in a meeting, when you are with new people, when you are in a party, when you are busy in a meal or something like that. And I like it very much because I started to discover a second style and I mix it all the time to be analytical, but at the same time to be an initiative person. However, when I started working, I discovered a third style of communication. It was to be a direct person. What do I mean about that? Is that when you were doing business, you have to go really, really, really to the point. You don't have to give some bad information, or you don't have to give another things that they are not referring to the topic that you are talking. So for me, it was the most difficult style of communication for me, because you have to be very clear and very directly, and sometimes you are becoming rude because you don't take a filter of the words that you use. So when I started to practice that kind of communication, I discovered that in that way, I can receive a lot of benefits about that, because you communicate in the really honest way, and you save all time, or you save much time when you're talking with somebody. And in business, it's a very good way to communicate, but it's very important to not to forget to be a polite person. Since that day, I remember that I becoming a direct person all the time, with my friends, with my family, with new people that I met and everything. And in some parts, or in some times, for me, it could be a complicated situation, because there are some people that they don't feel the same to be a direct person. So in so many cases, for me it was a trouble. And once I remembered that a friend told me, Ivan, you don't have to be a very direct person. Maybe you can be a supportive person, because not everybody wants to receive a direct communication. Maybe you can mix your way that you communicate. And in that way, I remember my beginnings as an analytical person. I remember when I was in high school to be an initiating person, and I discovered to be a supportive person, where you can be more polite with people, you can give your help to everybody, and you can filter the words that you use to be a good communicator. And when I arrived to Toastmasters, I discovered a lot of people that they use that kind of communication, when you support each other, where you can give recommendations, when you can give a lot of things to be more collaborative. And in that way, I decided to use it too in my daily life. So nowadays, I use the four kind of communication. It depends on the situation that I am. For example, if I go to a networking event, I use the initiating style to start a communication. And then if the person is very direct because they want to do a business, I became a direct speaker. And if I found another person that is very supportive, I decided to use the initiating and at the same time the supporting style. For me, it was a very nice mix of communication, because you adapt uh, to every person or every scenario that you receive in your life. And in public speaking is the same. For example, when you are doing a speech, maybe you have two options to discover the kind of people that they are going to receive your information, or maybe you can mix all the kind of communications to be very effective to the people that they're going to receive the information. For example, Steve Jobs was one of the person that decided to use all the kind of communication to adapt to all this type of people, and they become a great speaker. So the next time that you want to communicate or interact with other people, remember that everybody is different, and you have to mix the four kinds of communication: direct, supportive, initiative, and analytic. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Ivan, for this speech. I think it's very important to know ourselves and to know our style of communication, because it will help us to perform in a better way. Thank you so much for this speech. I was so excited at the beginning of the meeting that I forgot to present the team of evaluators. I am so sorry, but I'm going to do this right now. Our general evaluator is Juan Nielsen. Juan, I give, he's there, okay? You know what is about his role. So then our timer is Mike Delgadillo. Are you there, Mike? Thank you, Mike. You know the mechanic. It's the green when you are ready, the yellow when you are about to end, and the red is when you are ending your time. Then we have our counter, Anidita.
Hello.
Hello.
Good morning to all Mexicans out there.
Thank you, Anidita. And our grammarian, Carlos Herrerias.
Thank you, Carolina. I hope that we have a quixotic session, and I encourage all our participants to use the word of the day or the night in some cases, in Chennai's case. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, I was feeling quixotic, so I forgot to do that at the beginning. Well, we will continue with our second speaker. Yes, Juan, do you want to say something?
Yes, please. My mission today as a general evaluator is to use our my auxiliary people, timer, accountant, and grammarian in order to make a report of the session at the end of this. My only question is for Mike, what is the mechanica? What is the mechanic you're going to use in order to tell the people when they are arriving to the time, the green, the yellow, and the red? Just let us know what you're going to use. Is that visible for everyone?
Okay. My route to this session is the timer, so I will measure the time, I will manage the time, and every participation, table topics or purpose speech, I will show you the minimum time, so I will show you the green. In medium time, I will show you the yellow sheet or the yellow light because I have a problem. And the maximum time, I will show you the red sheet or red the light. At the end of the session, I give a report and some recommendation. This is my role tonight.
Okay, thank you. Once this is said, we'll have a report from everyone, and I will give my report at the end of the session about the evaluation of this. Thank you, Caroline.
Thank you, Juan. Anidita, do you want to share us your participation tonight? You are mute.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So the purpose of an counter is to note down the words and sounds that are used as crutch and pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words, including and, well, but, so, and these are called filler words. I will also listen. I will also be taking note down the repetitions, and I'll be submitting my report when called by a general evaluator. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Continue with our speakers. So I'm going to ask Ivan Sandoval to read the objectives of this speech.
Of course. You mean the objectives, right? Yes. Okay, I have it. Well, there are no objectives. There are a purpose of this project because it's pathways. And the purpose of this project is about to remember to learn about different communication styles and identify his or her primary style. The purpose of this speech is to share the impact of his or her style on others. That's the purpose.
I think the purpose is not that one. Maybe it is mistaken. It's a storytelling objective. Maybe I can share it.
You have with you the objectives, Aaron?
Yeah, just a minute.
Oh, yes. Sorry. You are in the storytelling, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yes, yes. I have it because it's an advanced project that I mentioned that you receive your objectives of this project. And I have it here. It's the storytelling advanced manual, right? Or is the storytelling from pathways, but I have it. Is the purpose of this project is to remember to practice using a story within a speech or given a speech that is a story. Your time is from 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you, Ivan. So our next speaker is in the pathways of innovative planning, connecting with storytelling project number 2. He joined Toastmasters a year ago. He felt something was missing in his life. The life was monotonous with work and home, and Toastmasters helped him with an opportunity to engage with the like-minded people who loves public speaking, also to enhance his public speaking and leadership skills. During his free time, he likes to play cricket. Then we have Arun Kumar with other information to set up the speech. Other information to set up the speech, Arun Kumar.
Do you want to know how to double your money in 24 hours? Do you want to know how to double your money in 24 hours? Good evening, dear Toastmasters, and good morning, dear Toastmasters. Unrealistic expectations are often the seeds of bitter emotions. Unrealistic expectations are often the seeds of bitter emotions. June 2018 BC, before Corona, people can travel from one place to another. They can even travel from one country to another. That's 2018, and me and my wife, only wife, we planned a trip abroad, an international trip to destination Bali, Indonesia. It was an amazing trip. I should say it was one of the best trips that I have ever gone. Today, I'm going to share one incident that happened during the trip of Bali. Day one and day two, they were beautiful days. We spent almost most of our time in the serene beaches of Bali, the pristine beaches of Bali. It was time for water sports adventure now. And we started our water sport adventure. The ambience was amazing. Blue sky, blue sea, lots of food, lots of noises. And I saw people playing around in the sea. We did snorkeling, we did sea walking, and also we did adventure parasailing. The adrenaline was pumping, and it was an enthralling experience that I have never experienced before in my lifetime. Absolutely amazing experience. After this experience, we really got hungry, and that's when I took my wallet out and I saw that the money that I had was almost going to be exhausted. We spent almost all the money, that the currency that we had in the water sports adventure. That's when I thought, going back home, I should exchange some money. Money exchanges in Bali is so common. You will find lots of shops that offers money exchange. So in that period of time, I was just glued out to the billboards. The billboards had like 1 USD is equal to how many Indonesian currencies. So I was very glued on to all the shops billboards that showed the prices. I was really expecting to have higher prices so that like I can get the maximum out of it. So my purpose was to ensure that I really get most out of it, out of the exchange. So one particular shop was having a very attractive price. This attractive price caught my eyes, and I said, Mac, can you please stop the car? The driver immediately stopped the car, and as soon as the car stopped, I just opened the door, went to the left side of the road, and there was a small kiosk. This small kiosk was like a small box, completely pitch dark, and there is a small hole where you can peep in and see the person, and the person was lying down. I said hello. He just came up and said, what do you want? I said, I want to convert my 100 US dollars into Indonesian rupiah. Indonesian rupiah is very, very, very devalued money. So 1 US dollars is 14,500 Indonesian rupiah, which means 100 US dollars is 1.4 million Indonesian rupiah. Yes, we were millionaires in Indonesia because 100 US dollars is 1.4 million US. I mean, like Indonesian rupiah. So as soon as I got got the money, I thought, I said 100 US dollars, please convert and give it to me. And he just took the calculator from the left side of his box and did some calculations and showed me, this is the money that I want to give you. That's about 14,000 for 1 US dollars. I really like the deal because like in the city, you cannot find that price at all. So it was, I had a question on myself itself. Am I in the dream or what? Like, how can I get 14,000 for 1 US dollars? Because like the other market price was like 13,000, 13,500. So immediately I said, okay, let's do it. And as soon as I said, he took the money from the right side. There was a bag, and he took the money from the right side. It was all 50,000 currencies. 50,000 is the denomination. So 50,000, he started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. And he kept it on the table and said, count it. So I took the money and then I counted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 20, 21, 22, 23, 28. And it was right, like 1.4 million Indonesian rupiah was there. Then I said, okay. And then he got the money from me. And then what he did was he just collated all the money together. And then like he started counting again. He counted 1 to 10, put it on the table. He started 1 to 10, put it on the table. He started 1 to 10, 1 to 8, put it on the table. So there is 28 notes on one side, and he asked me to put my 100 US dollars on the right side. So everything was balanced out. Like we had the right exchange that we had a deal with. And later on, he started to tell me like, you can count it again. I took all the money, collated together. I started counting 10, 11, 12, 15, 20, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. It was all right. It was all correct. So I thought, what's the deal? So why should I be doing it again and again? And then he asked me, is it okay? I said, okay, fine. We can go with it. And then immediately, tring, 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 there was a call. And like, I took the call and like, it was my wife. If the call was there this time, like today, I would generally not pick up, but it was my honeymoon trip. So immediately I picked the call and like I said, hello, dear, I'm coming soon. Please wait for just a minute. And immediately he asked me, is it okay? Can we close the deal? I said, okay. I was seeing it in front of my eyes, like 28 notes was there. And like, I said, okay. And then like, I got the money from him, turned back, walked towards the car door and opened the car door, sat in the car door. Car started moving. And then slowly there was a hunch in my mind, and it said, can you count it again? And like, I started counting the money back. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. What? 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Oh my God, 6 notes were missing. I could not believe my eyes. I was looking at my wife. My heart started beating faster. And my wife was very perplexed. She was confused. How much should it be? I said 28 notes has to be there. She started counting it again. 20, 21, 22. Wow, 6 notes missing. I was very sure. Like I got cheated. I got really, really cheated by this guy. And that particular moment, I felt really, really bad because it was my honeymoon trip. I was looking like a fool in front of my wife's eye, and I did not know what to do because I could not believe my own eyes, which counted 28 in front of them. So, my dear friends, I really learned a very bad lesson during that moment. The unrealistic expectation that you have is the cause for bitter sorrows in your life. That day, I knew it was not possible for a exchange to give me 14,000 for 100 US dollars. But I did accepted it because I thought it is possible. That unrealistic expectation was the sorrow for my problem. Today, ladies and gentlemen, Are you currently experiencing these unrealistic expectations in your life? Well, then it's time for you to change it to the realistic expectations. Otherwise, someday you will be sitting or standing in front of somebody and telling your own bitter stories. Do you still want to know how to make money in 24 hours? Send me a private message, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Arun, for sharing with you that
Thank you.
experience. Thank you so much. I'm sure that when you share private stories to the audience, you connect more. Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to give the floor to the evaluator of the third speaker, Mithu. Can you read the purpose and objectives of this speech, please?
Yeah, hi, good morning to
Hi.
Toastmasters in Mexico and good evening to the Toastmasters in Chennai. The purpose of this project is for the member to give a speech as a story, and the time allotted for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. Back, all the best to the target speaker. Back to the Toastmaster of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, our next speaker is in the pathway presentation mastery in the third level project number 2, connect with storytelling. He joined Toastmaster because he wants to develop public speaking skills. During his free time, he reads and he likes to play ping pong. And of course, he enjoys walking in the forest. So we received Joel Bravo, my dream, Joel Bravo.
If your mind can imagine it, and if your heart can feel it, and if you move forward, then you can do it. Toastmasters, presidents, members, and guests. Good morning in Mexico. Good evening in Chennai, India. Today, I have a dream. Do you have one? What is your dream? Have you achieved your dream? Let me express from my heart that I asked to myself all these kind of questions, and the answers were not so easy to get. Now, allow me to share my dream with you. My dream is to travel around the world with my wife, giving conferences and teaching, and inspire and try to help to transform at least one life. In fact, let me tell you that I feel very happy. I feel very excited because this speech is part of my dream. But as I told you, my dream was not always so clear. At the beginning of last year, I passed through an emotional depression. I was unmotivated. I was lost. I felt confused. Have you ever felt this way? Meanwhile, I was celebrating my 5th birthday. I remember that I went to Puebla to visit my parents, and I had a great conversation with my father. I shared my feelings with him. I remember that he came close to me and gave me a hug, and he told me, son, you are living the midlife crisis. I recommend you to read and study one book. Can you imagine the title of the book? Yes, The Midlife Crisis by Gail Sheehy. Oh, my father. Oh, my dad. I love you. I love you, Dad. Thanks God, my father still lives. My father is one of the most important persons in my life. He taught me the value of education. He taught me the value of respect. He taught me the value of honesty, the most important for him. I remember when I was 17 years old, I went to his government office. He was sitting at his desk reading a book, and I asked him, Father, why we don't have a big house? Why we don't have a new car just like your friends? He got up and told me, son, if you want to sleep well, you must be honest and study very hard. Hey, listen, I'm not proud about what I'm going to say now, but it was until 10 years ago that I finally understood those words. The second important person in my life is my wife, Gabby, a great woman in every sense of the word. She promised me to be faithful. She promised me to be with me in good times and bad times. She promised me to love me and respect me. And she did it. And she did it very well. On April 2010, we had our worst marriage crisis in 26 years. Gabby, with her heart broken and her life broken, decided to give me one last chance, decided to help me. Thank you, Gabby. I will never forget that morning, April 11, 2010. Gabby was desperate and angry, and my children, Paola and Diego, they were crying, and my parents were disappointed. All of them in front of me. I had to enter to an addiction rehabilitation clinic. That was my life-breaking point. That was a moment of my personal defeat. Do you imagine how did I feel? But today, I can remember that date as the beginning of my new second life. Later, thanks to my mentors, since 2015, I have started a process of personal growth. I have read more books in these 5 years than in previous 45. I have been certified as a coach. I have been certified as a learning facilitator. I have started my own business. And today, I am studying in the best leadership school in the United States, the John Maxwell Team School. On August this year, Gabby and I will travel to Orlando to get our certification. And now, I am a proud Toastmaster member. The biggest obstacle I had to overcome was to admit that I had a problem and that I could not solve it alone. I had to ask for help to my family. I had to ask for help to my friends. And basically, I had to ask for help to God. If you know someone that has a crisis, if you know someone that is having or is facing a huge problem, tell them that they are not alone. Tell them that there is always a solution. If you have a problem, I am here to help you. Just call me. Finally, I have a challenge for you. Identify your dream, work for your dream, and achieve your dream. Don't forget, you will need loving people, and you will courage and strength in every step. If I can do it, you can do it too. And remember, if your mind can imagine it, and if your heart can feel it, and if you move forward, then you can do it. Toastmaster.
Joel, thank you so much for sharing with us those so hard moments in your life. I have to tell you, everybody, that I have the honor to meet Joel's father, and he's a great human being as you, Joel. Thank you very much for your speech. Well, now I'm going to give the floor to Carlos Herreria in order that he can share with us the next speaker objectives. Please, Carlos.
Thank you, Carolina. The next speech will be by Victor Mendoza. The purpose statement for this speech is, the purpose of this project is for the member to present a speech of any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to a second speech. The purpose, is to present the speech and receive feedback from the evaluator. The speech length is from 5 to 7 minutes.
Thank you so much, Carlos. Well, our next speaker is making the effective coaching pathway, evaluation and feedback level #1. He joined Toastmasters because he has the chance to work with a lot of amazing people around the world. During his free time, he likes to sketch, to read a lot while listening to music, and he likes to play Pokemon Go. Well, Victor Mendoza, 1 second. 1 second. Victor Mendoza.
The night sky was purple. The air was so dry, I could barely breathe. I was working on my computer, and something in my hand told me, "Get out of here." I ran to the dining room. I was about to sit down when suddenly the ground shook. The windows shattered, and something incredible happened. Fellow Toastmasters from Chennai, Ibero, Deloitte, and Empresarios, and most honorable guest. Albert Einstein proposed the theory of relativity. In simple words, this theory states that concepts such as time and even space are relative. For example, 1 second feels quite different if you are running a marathon on an open space or if you are inside an elevator with strange people or maybe with the crush of your life. Or worse, 1 second feels quite different if you are delivering an online Toastmaster meeting a speech, like today. And let's be honest, as Toastmasters, yes, every one of you on the screen that I can see, yeah, let's be honest. As Toastmasters, we have an obsessive, compulsive, complicated love and hate relationship with time. That's the reason I want to share with you 2 moments of my life that changed my understanding of time and communication. Moment 1. When I was a child, I was in a trip with my grandparents, but we arrived late to catch the bus for the return trip home for just 1 second late. 1. We were hungry, and tired because we had to wait several hours to catch the next bus. Finally, once we rode home on the second bus, I saw something horrible. Another bus had turned upside down. It was on fire and people were screaming. I was shocked because it was the first time that I saw an accident as a kid. And that was the bus we had supposed to take. Good. But then my grandfather, with no words, took my hand, and my grandma, with a few words, just looking into my eyes and told me, "Calm down. You are safe. You are with us." At that time, I understood that 1 second means the whole difference between life and death. Second moment, let's rewind to where I began my speech. Don't press any button, I'm just reacting this. I was working on my computer when suddenly the ground shook, the window shattered, and then a lightning struck from the sky, struck on the ground, and a lightning entered into my house. At the same time, the room was colored in red. My eyes were blinded, and everything felt like in slow motion, just like our internet connection right now. Then there was a silence. On that purple night, an electric storm sent lightning into my house and it destroyed my computer. It was so serious. But then I went to check on my grandpas. They were older and they couldn't move anymore. So after I told them everything what happened, yeah, my grandpa with his shaking hand and no words, he just took mine. And my grandma, who couldn't see anymore, with a few words just told me, "You are okay, you are with us." At that time, I understood that my grandparents were the most amazing, fantastic Toastmasters in the whole world, even they never were members, because they knew the power of a single action and a few words. They knew the power of communication. Now, they are gone. But I keep a positive attitude because I interpret Albert Einstein's theory. Yes, time might be relative, but words and actions are absolute and specific. And this is the message from my grandparents to you, my friends. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, to conclude, we live in a time of uncertainty. But let's make time for the most important, ourselves, your family and friends. So I encourage you to follow the example of my grandparents. Number one, take a deep breath and say that you are alive. Don't wait until it's too late. And two, choose your words and actions carefully, because it's not the same to say hate than love to the people you care about. Sometimes your family or friends only need a hug, even if it's virtual, or they need a helping hand, or they only want to be listened. Our mission as Toastmasters is to make a better world, and sometimes that includes no words and no speeches at all. And remember, my friends, that sometimes one action and a few words have the change to change a second into the eternity. Madam Toastmaster.
Victor, thank you so much for that speech. Absolutely, I think that 1 second can change our life. Thank you, Victor. So I'm giving the floor to Juan Pablo Reina in order to read the objectives of the last speaker.
Thank you, Carolina. The objectives of the speaker are: 1, to collect information about your topic from numerous sources. And second, carefully support your points and opinions with specific facts, examples, and illustrations gathered through research. Those are the objectives.
Thank you, Pablo. Well, our next speaker is in the Competent Communication Manual with the Research Your Topic project number 7. He is repeating his speech to enthrall his listeners. He joined Toastmasters primarily to fine-tune his speaking skills and gain knowledge from members. During his free time, he is a passionate singer. He practices songs to make himself happy and to make other people happy. We have our next speaker, Paul Bhaskaran. I go crazy, Paul Bhaskaran.
I just called to say I love you. Would you all please unmute and say who sang this song?
Stevie Wonder.
Wonderful, wonderful. Whenever I listen to this song, Stevie Wonder's song, I really go crazy. I also went crazy when I come across the strange laws across the globe. Toastmaster of the day, fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests, I welcome you all to the world of crazy laws, L-A-W-S, laws. It all happened when I was visiting several countries via www.strangelaws.com. And I found out so many strange laws existed in those places, which are no more valid, yet you will all be prosecuted if you break those laws. I would like to take you all to those places. Are you willing to take a journey with me? Yes or no? Yes, great. We are in Alabama, which is in United States of America. How many of you carry a comb in your pockets? Comb. Raise your hands. Never mind. I carry a comb always. Don't ask me why. In Alabama, it is illegal to carry a comb in your pocket when you are roaming in the city. Why? Because a boy of 13-year-old was stabbed with the comb and he was killed. So the law was passed. Listening to that story, even I am afraid to take out my comb even in India. Let's move on to Athens, which is the capital of Greece. In Athens, if you're poorly dressed, or if you have not taken bathing that day, please do not drive. If you do so, your driving license will be revoked. If at all you want to drive that day, take a good bathing, and get well dressed and then drive. Let's move on to Britain. According to the British law, 1845, if anybody makes an attempt to commit suicide, the offender will be hanged to death. My dear friends, if at all anybody wants to commit suicide, don't get corona. Just go to Britain. The success is guaranteed. And we will move on to China. In China, if you're witnessing anybody, even it could be your spouse, drowning in a pond, do not try to save. Why? Because the law says that you will be facing severe punishment. Why? Because you are interfering in one's personal life. It could be, let it be your wife, no problem. Don't try to save, otherwise you will be put in jail. Moving on to Kentucky. I'm not going to talk about yummy chicken. In Kentucky, the law there says you must have a bath at least once a year. Think about the people. Moving on to Samoa, which is close to New Zealand. A message of caution to all the gents over here listening. Gents, please listen to me. In Samoa, it is illegal to forget your wife's birthday. If you forget, the punishment will be first by wife and by the law next. Dear friends, how can you forget such an important thing? I forgot only once. That's it. The once is enough, my dear friends. I will never ever forget not my wife's birthday, but the severe hit I received and the wonderful treatment I got it from Olivia, the gorgeous nurse. Let's move on to India. We are back in India. India, there is a state called Nagaland. If at all you want to have a property there, you have to marry a girl from that state. So buy one, get one. Trust me, I don't have any property there. Dear friends, let's move on to Sharjah. In Sharjah, you cannot roam around with the wraparound like lungi, we call lungi, which covers, of course, from the hip to toe, the body, right? Whereas if you're wearing shorts, you will be highly respected. The police will be after you if you're roaming around the city with a lungi, which is wraparound. Having shared all these laws, my dear friends, come to Toastmasters. The TMA law says, if you're a great performer, you will be the winner. If you're not the great performer, you can still be a qualified judge and even to be the chief judge. That's what TMA law says. Ladies and gentlemen, laws and life go hand in hand. Whereas laws with spouse, in-laws, and strange laws, it goes crazy. Toastmaster of the day, you should be knowing now why I go crazy. Over to you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much for that speech. Thank you for making us to travel around the world in just a few minutes. Well, now it's time to evaluate the speakers. So I'm going to give the floor to the first evaluator, who is Victor Mendoza, with a time from 2 to 3 minutes.
Sure. Please provide me the time the speaker did in his speech.
The time is, it was 6 minutes.
Oh, great. Please give a round of applause to our friend Ivan. Congratulations, Ivan. It was a delightful to hear your speech at a Sunday morning. It's hard to listen a speech at a Sunday morning so early, so to me it was energetic. Thanks for giving me this chance. What I want you to share with you is your evaluation according to my guide. You excelled. Your spoken English is very clear to me. I want to learn that from you more because the way you pronounce the words and the way you structure the sentences are good to me. Congratulations for that. Another thing that you excelled at is that your speech was well organized. It had a chronological outline, so you started talking about yourself when you were a child, then the challenge you had when you were a teenager, and then when you became a senior business partner. So fantastic. It was very, well organized. And you deliver an exemplary speech about your communication skills, stating the most important is to know the person before you are going to chat with him or her. So fantastic. You may want to work on more on non-verbal languages because I couldn't evaluate it at all most part of the time. So number one, use pauses. After you deliver a sentence, use a pause, watch the camera, watch your audience response, and then speak, because there were no pauses at all and it was difficult to follow your ideas. And you are going to do that by thinking your mind 1 to 2 seconds, do the pause, 1, 2, and then you watch your audience, and then you continue. And to challenge yourself, I would like to you deliver the speech in front of the camera. You were like this, like, I don't know if you were reading or I don't know what you were doing, but I want you to take the challenge to look at the camera, to express about the communication style, how you deal with it. If you are going to do that, then you can add more impact to your speech. And so try to find a middle point on your camera, and also do some vocal exercises to relax your throat. For example, ah, eh, e, o, u. So your voice can flow natural and you don't have that kind of filler words or crutches. So my friend, thank you very much for giving me the chance to deliver me an energetic speech. And please keep working on this. You are an amazing communicator. Congratulations, Ivan.
Thank you.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you very much.
Well, our second evaluator is Ivan Sandoval. He's going to evaluate Arun Kumar. Please, Ivan,
Yes.
take the floor.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster. Arun, nice to meet you too, and thank you for the opportunity to be your evaluator. And Mike, could you tell me what was the time of Arun, please?
It was a 7 minutes 30 seconds.
Okay, excellent. It was on your the complete time of your speech. Congratulations about that. Arun, let me tell you that it was a fantastic story to hear about that, because I started to thinking in my mind the place where you go, and started to imagine Indonesia, and I started to imagine the part when you were counting the bills, and it was very interesting story, and it was a very short story to use in this project. Let me tell you that you were very clear in the beginning, because you mentioned an excellent questions about the topic. Then the climax, it was the counting bills, the 3 or 4 times that you did it when you were with the person. It was very nice. And then the ending, when you discovered that you were cheated by the person who was in the exchange from your bills to the rupias, and I really enjoyed a lot. I only I really enjoy the situation where you count the bills, because it was very fantastic, where you mentioned very quickly and you don't get a mistake about that. So I think that it was the strong part of your speech, and I think that it was really good in the middle or the climax of the story. I only recommend you the same as you use when you count the bills. Maybe you can use it before when you arrive to the exchange store. For example, you mentioned that in Indonesia there are a lot of exchange stores, and maybe you can add a little bit story similar when you count the bills. Maybe, oh, there are a lot of exchange stores and I don't know where I have to change my money. Maybe there, but no, it was a bad guy over there. No, it was very difficult because it was a lot of people. Something like that to give more interesting your story. But I really enjoyed the way that you do it. And at the end, it was very clear. Maybe I recommend you a little bit more frustration, because you felt that your heart start to work very hard, And I think that it was very normal, because for my point of view, when I felt the money, I feel the same as you. And when I'm going to the bank, I counted a lot of times, and sometimes for me it was difficult to discover that sometimes I felt some money. So congratulations, your volume, it was very clear. The pauses and the transitions, it was very clear. So congratulations for your speech. See you on your next project, and have a good time. And I'm going to be glad to hear another story from you. See you.
Well, thank you so much for that feedback. Well, our next evaluator is going to be Mithun, who is going to evaluate Joel Bravo. Mithun, I give you the floor.
Yeah. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the target speaker for presenting such a wonderful speech about his life. I have a dream, a speech which had changed the civil rights movements in US history, and you started your own speech with the same words, I have a dream, which was really a great start of your speech. This had made the audience get engaged to your words. And the way you were using your hand gestures made the audience to sync with the words, exact words which you were saying. It showed how confident you were with your words. It shows how much practice you have done with your work. And the second is that your content of speech with needed voice modulations made those exact moments in your life which you had gone through, made the audience to feel those exact moments in your life. It was, you took the audience with you, along with you during those explanation of those moments in your life. If I had one recommendation for your speech, you had two stories in your speech. One is with your father, which was also a life-changing moment, and another one was with your wife. Both these persons have taught you a lesson in your life. But if you've seen the objective of the speech, it was more about related to storytelling. So if you generally see a story, it should have an quixotic ending, an unpredictable ending, which will make the final impact more, on a much greater extent. The audience would have felt it a better story if the end was quixotic. So instead of having two different stories, connecting it on a single platform, you could have explained a single story right from the starting to the end. And also I felt more of a storytelling. It was the flow of emotions and the explanation of your present mind at that moment. So I felt it was little low on storytelling and more on the speech. If you would have done with the content of storytelling more, it would have been such a great speech. With that, I give my conclusion. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your feedback, Mithun. Well, our next evaluator is Carlos Herrerias. He will evaluate Victor Mendoza. I give you the floor to Carlos Herrerias.
Thank you, Carolina. Victor, congratulations for your speech. 1 second. It was a very enthralling speech. I felt very engaged with the way you described your situations. The situations you went through with your grandparents and the importance of 1 second. You started your speech with a quote, referring to Albert Einstein's theory of relativity, and actually I remember sometimes that 1 second, it's the difference between life and death sometimes, when 1 second means everything. So as your evaluation sheet goes, as general comments, you excel at vocal variation, expressivity, facial expressions, gathering attention from the crowd. You have very good use of your hands. You made very good use of your personal anecdotes to exemplify your points, and you made yourself very clear at the importance of the title of your speech. 1 second. You may want to improve on sometimes when your vocal variations made you lower your voice due to storytelling, I couldn't hear very clearly. You may want to keep your voice up, even if you have to make a pause or for dramatic causes of the speech. And I will challenge yourself to use more visual props. I challenge you to use the visual aids the platform well, in this platform you can use visual aids to improve even more your speech. So I will challenge you to use those visual aids in your next speech. I will feedback you your feedback speech sheet in private. Thank you very much for that speech, and I hope that I can evaluate you on your second speech. Congratulations. And that's it.
Carlos, thank you so much. Well, our next evaluator is Juan Pablo Reina, who will evaluate Paul Pascaran. I give the floor to Juan Pablo Reina.
Thank you. Paul, thank you for letting me evaluating you. And the two objectives of your project was, one, to collect information about your topic from numerous sources. It wasn't clear for me, perhaps because of the barrier of the language, if you find all that information in just one single site, strangeloss.com or something, or you really went through different sources. If it's the first case that you only visit one site, one website, I would encourage you to properly find information from different sources, not only one, because it was not the objective of the project. And secondly, carefully support your points and opinions with specific facts, examples, and illustrations. Of course, you gave us plenty of information and different facts, funny facts, all of them. Could have been better if you use a visual aid or trying to illustrate, not only with the comp, but in some other moments of your speech. Said that, I liked your speech. It was funny, it was illustrative, and it makes me think next time I travel, I will try to read in advance what kind of strange regulations may have that country. It was well organized. I appreciate, I saw the way you move on the let's say on the stage and the use of your hands. And also I like the way you try to vary your tone to emphasize your ideas. The way you start your speech with the song, it is very catchy way and it is very funny. So just to summarize, to make sure that you use different sources for your collecting information and perhaps using more visual aids. And that's it. Thank you for the opportunity.
Pablo, thank you so much for this feedback to Paul. I ask you kindly to all the evaluators to send privately, as Carlos mentioned to Victor, to send in a private chat your evaluations in order to the speakers can upload this evaluation in the platform. Thank you very much. So we are running a little bit of time. Do you want to have the 5 minutes of break or do you want to continue? Please raise your hand if you want to continue.
We'll continue.
Okay, we think we will continue to this second part of our session. And this second part, I have the pleasure to present one of our newest Toastmasters of our club, Ibero Puebla. He is very, very committed to our club and he always says, yes, I am. Thank you so much for your participation this night. Alvaro Prieto is going to be our topic master. Alvaro Prieto, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Carolina. Good morning to Mexico. Good evening to Chennai. How are you? Are you ready for the best part of the session? Well, I have been told that today is the International Freedom of Speech Day, so these are not going to be table topics. I'm going to do some interviews. We're going to transport to a live broadcasting program in which I will be doing some interviews to our participants. I will begin with a small quote. If liberty means anything at all, it means the right to tell people what they do not want to hear. George Orwell. The table topics, in this case, interviews, have as an objective to develop communication skills by speeding up thinking. I will ask general questions to my interviewers that need to be answered in a time from 1 to 2 minutes. Mike Delgadillo, time taker, could you please tell us the mechanic for this?
Yes, of course. At minute 1, I will show you the green sheet. At minute 1 and 30 seconds, I will show you the yellow sheet. At minute 2, I will show you the sheet, the red sheet. So the participant, they have 30 seconds for finish the table topics participation.
Thank you very much, Mike. Please remember that speeches, interviews requires an introduction, body, and conclusion. They also need to contain a message for the public, as well as an input and output cue, quote, or phrase. And also, I encourage you to use the word of the day, quixotic. So let's get to the interviews, and I expect to be a quixotic interviews. For the first one, let me share you my screen. Yeah. Please let me know if everyone can see my screen. So these are the table topics, breaking news. Broadcasting live from Mexico, Toastmaster International. So for the first one, I would like to ask Ricardo Medel. Ricardo Medel, what comes to mind when you hear the word freedom? What comes to mind when you hear the word freedom? Ricardo Medel.
Don't hate me for saying this, but when I hear the word freedom, I think about Donald Trump. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. This word is so beautiful, but that country, the United States of America, have created something different, like a slogan about that country with this word. They talk about a lot of freedom, it's a country of dreams. And I don't know if that's true or not, but that's something that you can live in your own country. We all are free to think, free to speak, free to be in this moment with all of us. So that's what I think, but it doesn't matter. What really matters is how do you live this world? How are you living this? Are you free Are you free to talk? Are you free to think? On this day, that is totally legal. So we don't know tomorrow. A lot of heroes have given their lives to for this moment. Now we have these rights to be free. So that's my message for today, and that's what I think about freedom. The pain is for a moment, but the satisfaction is forever.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. Now we are moving to the second interview. So I will share you my screen for the next topic. Also, I will ask to Suruti. Are you there, Suruti?
Yes, is it audible?
Yes, it is audible. So this is a situation. Imagine you are a news reporter and you need to tell something very important to the world, and people with power tries to shut you down. What will you do? Imagine you are a news reporter and you need to tell something very important to the world, and people with power tries to shut you down. What will you do? Suruti.
Good morning and good evening to fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests present here. So given the opportunity that I'm a news reporter, I of course will have the power, or more like the opportunity, to face people, because media has all the strength and power to communicate, or whatever is being communicated will be broadcasted. Or top management or higher to me are not letting me to do that, there is definitely a way, and as persuasive speakers, we Toastmasters can influence and somehow pass on the or communicate the message to somebody else who has the opportunity to do it instead of us. So in that very case, without losing hope, I feel I would definitely reach out to somebody who can do this instead of me or in spite of me. When I'm not being given the opportunity, or I'm being suppressed, or not being given the freedom to speak out, I would reach out to a person who I believe can do that for me, for the well-being for everybody else. Even if that really has to be done, it should be that way. Over to the table topic master.
Thank you very much, Suruti. We definitely need to look for different forms to spread the word. Going on with the interviews, there is, I think he's a guest. Anthony L. Hogan, are you there?
Yes, I'm here, ready.
Okay, perfect. Are you ready for the interview? The question is, how important is freedom of speech for you? How important is freedom of speech for you, Anthony L. Hogan?
Alvaro, thank you very much for this quick interview today. I always appreciate watching your channel. I learned so much from it. You ask about the freedom of speech. Well, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm African American. My parents were born in Georgia and Alabama, and they both grew up in the middle of the civil rights movement. So especially as an African American, I know the power of freedom of speech. I come from a country where my ancestors were brought to America as slaves. And the only way to remove those bonds was to do it step by step by step. And one of the keys to that was in the US Constitution, where it says that all men are created equal. Now, when they wrote those words, they meant all white males that own land. But African Americans use those exact words to say, no, we too are human. We too deserve that equality. Now, I not only experienced that freedom of speech because my parents and how my mother in Georgia was shot with water cannons, bit by dogs, and put in jail in high school, so that I, Anthony Hogan, can 50 years later be here in Mexico, talking to people in India, and expressing my views about something as simple as the power of speech. So I would definitely say that the freedom of speech is not something that is given by a government. It is an inalienable right that's given by God. And when someone tries to hold you down, as quixotic as that may be, in terms of what they think they can achieve, always, always, usar el poder de tu voz. Use the power of your voice. Thank you for the interview, Alvaro, and I hand it back to you.
Thank you very much to you, Anthony. That was a great interview. El poder de la voz, the power of the voice. A quick question, you are living here in Mexico? Okay, that's good. For our next interview, we have, I do believe it's a special guest. I will share my screen. It's for Bala. Bala, are you there?
Yes, Prito.
Nice to meet you, Bala. So here's your question.
Yeah.
If you could say something important to the world, what would you say? If you could say something important to the world, what would you say? Bala.
Thanks, Prito. Happy morning, happy afternoon, and happy evening to everyone.
Morning.
The call and honorable guests, welcome. This is the period where COVID-19, right? Everywhere there are instructions. I want to convey two things. Number one, avoid men. During the COVID-19 time, avoid men. Follow women. Follow women, okay? Why? I said so. Men, M stands for, E stands for eye, N stands for nose, M stands for mouth. Mouth, eyes, and nose. Don't touch. Don't touch men, okay? If you want to be healthy. Follow women. W stands for wash your hands with soap. O stands for obey the rules and guidelines provided by the medical authorities. M stands for move away from crowd. E stands for exercise daily to improve your immunity power. N stands for no touching anybody. So follow women, avoid men, right? That's the important message I want to convey. This may be a repetitive one, but this is the only solution which we have right now. Stay home, stay at home. That is apart from this. So please be careful and stay safe, stay put. We have freedom. Freedom doesn't mean that we can be as we like. Freedom is equal to responsibility. We should be responsible. The freedom comes with an integrated package of responsibility. That is a message I want to tell or convey during this COVID-19 period. Thank you, Prito, for the opportunity.
Thank you very much, Bala, for the interview. Please, do you hear everyone? Stay home, stay safe. For our next interviewer, we have Juan Nielsen. Juan Nielsen, the question is the next one. What kind of stories do you hear in the news related to freedom of speech? What kind of stories do you hear in the news related to freedom of speech? Juan Nielsen.
Thank you, Alvaro. Thank you, Alvaro, for the opportunity. In the recent years, I've been hearing a lot of stories about this freedom. I can say that we all have opportunities to pursue the freedom and to tell and to say and to talk about our freedom of speech. But the stories I have heard are related to all those people who have as a job the opportunity to pursue the truth and to spread it. I'm talking about the journalists. The journalists around the world, which are on a daily basis, trying to find the truth and spread it. I think, and I've heard a lot of stories about this, how many times they have been menaced for telling the truth. I think we all have a debt with many of them for the dedication, and I think we all should make a humble homage to them, to all those people who are on a daily basis putting their lives in danger in order to serve the truth and spread the truth. That is my humble homage to all those journalists, honest journalists, who are on a daily basis trying to find and spread the truth. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Juan Nielsen, for your kind words. For the reporters. For our next interview, I would like to ask Anusha. Anusha, are you there?
Hi.
Hello, Anusha.
Hi.
So the question is, will you fight for your freedom of speech rights? Will you fight for your freedom of speech rights? Anusha.
Thank you. Would you fight for your freedom of speech rights? Of course, I would. I'm sure every one of us have to. You know, the most important thing in our life would be to express ourselves. If there wasn't restraint that you cannot express yourself, there you lose your individuality. You cannot be your own self. I think that is the greatest fear which each and every one of us, that would be our darkest fear, I can say. We should be able to be our own self. At the same time, our freedom should not invade a neighbor. Our freedom ends within our compound, and it should not be an invasion to another person. And that freedom becomes really important. You express yourself to make your views evident and important in the society. At the same time, you express yourself to be more about yourself. This Toastmasters has been so close to my heart that I've been picking out stories from my childhood, my college days, and how my fears and my happiness. And I have this beautiful crowd, this energetic crowd who are eager to listen to me. And I think that is the greatest motivation for me. That is the opportunity I have got to express myself, and I really cherish this journey in Toastmasters. And this is a great opportunity for me to meet all your friends from abroad, from like-minded people who are traveling in the same boat on Toastmasters journey in this COVID. I wish you all a safe journey, friends. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anusha, for that kind interview. So for our last interviewer, point, I would like to ask Felipe Gomez. Felipe Gomez, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much, Felipe Gomez. So your question is the following. What will it be like to live in a place where there is no freedom of speech? What will it be like to live in a place where there is no freedom of speech? Felipe Gomez.
How will be life in a place that there has not freedom of speech? I can hardly imagine that situation. Thanks God, thanks our ancestors in Mexico, we are an independent country. We have not slavery, and we have one of the most appreciates rights, the freedom of speech. So I think that if we didn't have that right, it will be as a slavery, because each one of us in Mexico have been educated educated in this form that freedom, in this freedom. So living with this, without this, it will be like even worse that if we don't have a voice, because you can write, but if the government didn't allow us to express ourselves even on writing, it will be a dictatorship regimen, and it will be unacceptable for us. I don't remember exactly which leader, world leader, says that if the laws of your country are not for the people, then you have the right to fight for them. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Felipe Gomez, for that. Interview. So I am being requested for one last speech. Is Sushant, are you there? Sushant?
Yeah.
So do you want to participate on table topics?
Yeah, can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah. So the next question for Susan is the following. Susan, do you think freedom of speech can be eliminated? Do you think freedom of speech can be eliminated? Susan.
Yeah. Can I have 30 seconds timing?
1 to 2 minutes.
No, 30 seconds grace time. But just thinking.
Okay. Sushant, are you ready?
Just yeah, I'm ready. Can you speak?
Please go on, Sushant.
Hello. Yeah. So, good evening to Chennai and good morning to Mexicans. The topic given to me is, could the freedom of speech can be eliminated? Friends, the answer that I would say is no. The freedom of speech should not be eliminated because it's our freedom that what we speak. Yes. That's what God has given to everyone. Everyone has a right to speak about their point, even in Toastmasters, like this table topics. We have the rights to speak what we know. I don't get any points. But still, as one of the guests said, it's not being given by the government or the people, it's being given by the God. So that's what. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Susan, for that interview. Definitely, freedom of speech cannot be eliminated. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for the interviews. Please remember, I will send you a link here in the group chat so you can vote for the best prepared speech, best evaluator, and best table topics. So we are finishing the broadcast now. The news are ending, and I would like to close with this quote. Proclaim the truth and do not be silent through fear. Saint Catherine of Siena. Toastmaster of the Day, Carolina Flores.
Alvaro, thank you so much for those interviews. I like it. I enjoy every participation. Thank you so much for the speakers. Well, as Alvaro told you, you are going to receive a link and you can vote for the best speaker, the best table topic speaker, and the best evaluator. Now it is time for the third part of our night, of this session. So we are going to present to the general evaluator, Juan Nielsen, who he's going to present as well the timer, the counter, and the grammarian evaluations. I give the floor to Juan Nielsen with a time from 5 to 7 minutes. Please, Juan.
Me. Thank you. Thank you, Karen. It has been an exciting session. First of all, I will ask my group of evaluations. Mike, please, can you tell us your report about time, speakers and evaluators, and table topics?
Yes, of course, Juan. We start the session 9 minutes late. The total of introduction it was 11 minutes. And Ivan's speech was 6 minutes, around 7 minutes 30 seconds. Joel, you made 6 minutes 33 seconds. Victor, you made 7 minutes 2 seconds. And Paul, 7 minutes 30 seconds. Victor, evaluation. Victor, you made 2 minutes 45 seconds. Ivan, you made 3 minutes 8 seconds. Joel, you made 2 minutes 3 seconds. Juan Pablo, you made 2 minutes. Table topics. Ricardo Medel, he made 2 minutes 7 seconds. Suriti and Anthony, sorry, because I think that it was a evaluation time, no table topics. I couldn't see the traffic light or the lights, but Suriti, she made 1 minute 33 seconds, 33 seconds. Anthony, you made 1 minute 48 seconds. Bala, you made 2 minutes and 22 seconds. Juan, you made 1 minute 40. 1 minute 54 seconds. Anusha, you made 2 minutes 9 seconds. Felipe Gomez, I couldn't see the colors too. But you made 1 minute 49 seconds. And finally, Sushan, you made 1 minute 20 seconds. That's my report, Juan. And the recommendation is to manage the time. And congratulations, because everyone made the minimum time that is required for in every participation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike, for your report. As I can see, it was very clean. Everybody was under the right time. And I congratulate everybody for that. Thank you, Mike, for your report. Our counter. And indeed, can you tell us your report, please?
Yeah. So, President Joan Nielsen, 1 audible pause, 1 filler word, 1 repetition. Toastmaster Day, Toastmaster Carolina, 1 audible pause. TT Master, Toastmaster Alvaro, 1 audible pause, 1 filler word. GE, Toastmaster 1 Nelson, 1 audible pause. Speaker 1, even Sandoval, I'm sorry if I'm not getting the name pronunciation right. More than 3 audible pauses, 2 filler words, 2 repetitions. Speaker 2, Toastmaster Arun Kumar, 2 audible pauses, more than 3 filler words and 1 repetition. Speaker 3, Toastmaster Joel, 2 audible pauses, 1 repetition. Speaker 4, Toastmaster Victor, no pauses, no filler words, no repetition. Speaker 5, Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran, 2 audible pauses. Evaluator 1, Toastmaster Victor, 1 audible pause. Evaluator 2, Toastmaster Eben, 2 audible pauses, 1 filler word. Evaluator 3, Toastmaster Mithun, 2 audible pauses, 1 filler word. Evaluator 4, Toastmaster Carlos, 2 audible pauses. Evaluator 5, Toastmaster 1, Pablo Reyna, 1 audible pause. As for TT session, Ricardo, 1 audible pause. Toastmaster Shruti, 2 audible pauses, 1 filler word. Guest Anthony, 2 audible pauses. Toastmaster Balamurugan, 2 audible pauses. Toastmaster 1 Nelson, 3 audible pauses. Anusha, 2 audible pauses, 1 repetition. Philip Gomez, 1 audible pause, 1 filler word. Guest Sushant, 3 audible pauses, 1 filler word. That's all. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you for your report and congrats, Annie Dita. And finally, Carlos Herrerias, we will like to hear your report about the grammarian.
Yes, Juan, thank you. First, I will start with you. You said to put their lives on risk, I recommend at risk. My group of evaluations, my group of evaluators. Carolina, every session leave us something. I recommend every session give us something. You said to engage, it's to enhance something. Ivan, you have very many. You tend to use do, for example. What about they do overtime? What they do. That's when you're trying to use did as a usage of time conjugations. Aaron, the money was exhausted. I know that in the context it's well implemented, but I would use the money was spent or used up. Joel Bravo. Let me express for my heart. Let me express from my heart. Imagine how did I feel? Imagine how did I felt? It's a matter of time usage. If I can do it, if I could do it, you can do it. You're speaking in past tense. Suriti, in spite of me, very good usage of that word. Paul Baskaran, you said first British, then corrected to Britain when referring to the country. Álvaro Prieto, you used the word of the day, quixotic. Ricardo Medel, no observations. Anthony Hogan, you also used the word quixotic on your presentation. Bala, no comments, very good intervention. Let me see. Sorry, I am going through my... Oh, Victor Mendoza, you said my grandpas. I recommend my grandparents. Anusha, no observations, very good intervention, very clear. Felipe Gomez, you said regimen, it's regime. And that would be my evaluation as a grammarian. My recommendation is that we all should keep using English and improving our speaking, our writing, and that would be all for today. Thank you.
Thank you, Carlos, for your report. Final words about the evaluation is this. In fact, it has been a great session. Exciting. It is very good to see many friends around the world and reaching another country just as fast as a click. I can say the date of today was perfect, and the topics were perfectly matched to that. I can say some journalists were excited with this because some of them were attending to this meeting. One of the examples is Ethel, which is a journalist, and I can tell you she's very excited with this. Thank you, Alvaro, for these topics, which are very, very exciting and proper. And I can say the session started on time, as the report said, and we are going to finish a little bit later. But I can say for the quantity of participants, it has been very clean. And I would like to tell Carolina, because I think Suriti has to say something also, the president of Chennai. I will ask to ask something from her about the session.
Yes, Ivan, thank you. Success occurs when opportunity meets preparation. And today, I would like to express my gratitude on behalf of every other member who has attended today's meeting to Toastmaster Carolina, as well as every member of Ibero Puebla Club for having invited us for this joint meeting. Thank you very much. And I feel it is every role player's, every speaker's input that has made this meeting a very good one, a successful one indeed. I thoroughly enjoyed today's meeting, and Ibero Puebla Club is close to every Chennai Wordsmiths heart because first time we had attended a virtual meeting, international joint meeting. And today I must really say we are thrice as glad because we could attend this meeting with 3 other clubs from Mexico, Ibero Puebla, Deloitte, and Emparacio. So we're very happy regarding that. And I would also like to take this opportunity to invite our area director, Toastmaster Balamurugan, to give a few words as feedback of today's meeting.
Thanks, Rudy. Thanks for this opportunity. All the clubs were there. It's a great opportunity where we are finding good things to do under the current situation, right? We are crossing the boundaries, the geographical boundaries, and interacting with each other. It's a great experience to have a different kind of audience from different geography, and knowing the audience and delivering the speeches. For example, today, Paul Bhaskaran usually used to quote all the local regional thing. Today, he was international when he was speaking. Similarly, Arun Kumar, he started about Indonesian experience during his trip. So it was like fantastic platform, and we are becoming Chennai Wordsmiths and the Mexican Club together. It seems. I think they need to enroll as Chennai Wordsmiths going forward, I believe. So yeah, it's a blessing in disguise. I think everyone is fine with your families and all surroundings, your neighbors, your friends. All the best for you. Stay safe, stay put. This is very, very current situation. There is no medicine or vaccine. Everybody knows that. So we have to be at home and alone, interacting virtually. Thank you, Shruti. All the best to everyone, and keep good health. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your valuable feedback. I would also like to receive a feedback from Toastmaster Paul Bhaskaran, since it is his first international meeting. Paul, sir, yes.
Yes. Hi, once again, good evening. Really, I had a great opportunity to mix with the Mexicans, and I would like to specifically thank our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Arun, for giving me this opportunity. I said I wanted to share something to across the world. Definitely, it was a great opportunity. We wordsmith always take part, no matter what it is. We always are part of any forum. Let's keep going, and we are always glad to be part of Mexicans. Like Bala said, they have to enroll as Chennai Wordsmith. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. So kudos to every role player and speaker for making this meeting a memorable one. And hopefully we would join for more joint meetings with every club present here. And take care of your health and stay safe. Over to the President, Yuan. Thank you.
Juan?
Yes?
Would you like to say something to finish the session?
I just want to congratulate everyone. I would say, I expect this is not the last. I understand this is the first, say not the last. And I would like to say it is going to be a very rich opportunity to have more sessions like this with other clubs from Mexico, or everybody share experiences and so on. Let's take the chance of this possibility in some good way, say thanks to the virus, which is letting us having this opportunity to share these opportunities with many friends. We have been friends all the time. The only situation is we haven't met before.
Thank you so much, Juan. So we are ready to know the names of the winners of this session. Are you prepared to hear the names? Well, the best prepared speech is for Victor Mendoza. 1 second. Congratulations, Victor. The best evaluator goes to Victor Mendoza.
Yo.
Congratulations.
And?
And the best table topic goes for?
Not Victor Mendoza, please.
No, because he didn't participate. But Anthony Hogan. Anthony Hogan. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you so much for your participation. Before we go, I would like to take a groupal picture. Please, can you smile? Can you look to the camera? And all of you can take pictures if you like.
Yes.
Are you ready to smile? Okay, it's going to be in the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, we're going to post some pictures in our Facebook page. So I am going to send you the link.
Great.
Well, as Toastmaster of the day and of the night, my participation ends at this moment. I want to thank you, everybody, for giving me this opportunity. It was quite a challenge for me, and as you already see, I was quite exotic at the beginning of the meeting. Thank you for participation. Have a nice weekend. And I would like to ask Ivan, the president of Deloitte Club, to close this session, please. Ivan, we can't hear you. I think you are having problems with your audio. Well, I'm going to give these final words. Thank you so much, my friends. Thank you so much, Suruti, Juan, Ivan, and all our participants, speakers, evaluators, our guest, Anthony. Thank you very much for joining us, and we hope to see you soon in the future. And have a very nice day, a very nice evening. Virtual hugs.
Gracias, Carolina. Hiciste un gran trabajo.
Will we
Very
have,
much.
will we have the information from the clubs in India on your Facebook page as well?
Yep.
So that we can stay in contact if we want?
Yes, of course.
Yes, we have it. Can you write it down in the chat, please? Some of you.
The Facebook link for Chennai Wordsmiths page.
Sure.
Yes,
yeah.
please.
I will share it in the group which we have for this specific joint meeting. Is that okay?
Okay. Anthony,
Thank you.
Anthony, we're going to publish some pictures of this night and some notes in the Ibero Toastmasters Facebook page, okay? As well as the link.
Sure, I'll send you the link.
Well, thank you, my friends.
Thank you very much. Fue un placer. Thank you very much. See you all, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity.
Bye, amigos.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
Goodbye.